week 6.
Yes, sir.
We got the Atlanta Rabbits coming in. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but let's talk about last week's game.
Yeah.
Highs and lows, there were some really good things defensively, offensively. We struggled a little bit, but overall, what do you think about the defense?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure everyone watching this is kind of eager to hear, from a coach's perspective on what went down Friday night. And what I think the community of Jefferson know is we understand, the frustration and that what you saw from us as a team and from top to bottom is not to the standard of football that we expect for ourselves, and we know that this community expects from us. And so, we're going to get that fixed. We are getting it fixed, and we're making some changes and have done so beginning this week with just how we're going to do things moving forward. And so, I think that's just one thing I would want the community to know I'm holding myself accountable for that as the leader of this program. And so we had a great meeting yesterday morning to start the week, and then have had 2 great practices already this week in preparation. But I think the other thing, we're just going back to the game, was that it's another opportunity for us to learn. And I told the kids and I told our coaches, we're not going to waste the heartache and just feel bad and then just hope things get better the next week. We're going to take the things that we learned from that lesson and learn from that adversity that we faced and be better because of it. Because, in every great story, there's adversity, there's ups and downs, and there's things that you have to overcome. And that's what makes stories great. And people often forget that, but you and I both have moments in our lives where things were really difficult and we had to make decisions of what we were going to do and how we're going to handle that. And ultimately that's what makes great teams and makes great coaches, makes great leaders, is what you're going to do in the face of adversity. And so that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. We haven't had to deal with that a lot as a program in the last couple of years. And so it's good for us in the sense that it's building toughness and resilience in us for sure. And that's not ever fun, and it never is when you have to go through stuff like that, but we ultimately know that that's going to make us better. So, once again, I'm proud of the way our kids stayed positive and remained up and weren't pointing fingers at each other. And, sure, we were disappointed, and sure, we were upset and feel like we let a team that's not as good as us beat us. But we have to move on, but ultimately, again, just still proud of our kids and the way that they continue to fight.
Well, I think we've talked enough about that game, Coach. Well, I mean, seriously, you guys, you've realized that some things needed to be changed. Yeah. You've made those adjustments, and we can sit here and talk about the whole game and everything that happened. But I say we just move on. You've got things underway, and if you're okay with that, we'll.
We did have a very passionate fan get removed from the sidelines the other night. So.
At first, I thought, how is Coach way down there when I just saw him on the...
Yeah.
But I couldn't see who it was, and I'm looking around, looking out. I saw the referee, or I guess it was the back judge. Somebody was down there, having a verbal disagreement with him, and the guy was pretty, and I thought...
Yeah, he did look a lot like me, but it wasn't me. But he's been.
Who was that mask?
He's been. That was my older brother, and he's our unofficial get back coach, and he's been reprimanded and been instructed on where he's supposed to be on Friday nights. But he drives over from West Monroe, Louisiana, and he and I are very close. I got 2 brothers, and he's my older brother, and he's as big of a Bulldog fan as anybody in Jefferson, and
he's at every game.
Yeah, and is extremely passionate about the kids, and he's been extremely apologetic to me, but I just wanted to kind of bring that up to mess with him a little bit. But
one thing I will say in regards to that, I think everybody on the field was agreeing with what he was saying.
But I know,
in the stands.
For sure. Well, he's we're similar and different in a lot of ways, but our I guess maybe our fire is we're both pretty similar in that way. But anyway, no, I was just wanted to bring that up, kind of mess with him a little bit. But no, we can talk about Atlanta for sure.
Did he get tossed or just?
I think he just got. Yeah, I think he just had to go outside the chain link fence there. Yeah. So he can still be at the games, but he's got to keep a pretty tight leash on him, which his wife already does that anyway. So he should be used to that. So
coming up this week, Atlanta. I have not had an opportunity to look at them on film or anything, but I think they're, what are they, 4-1?
They're 4-1.
Yeah, 4-1.
Yeah.
Gladewater's 4-1. Tatum's 2-3. Liberty Isle 1-3. White Oak 4-1. We're 3-2. And Sabine, poor old Sabine's going through another year. We've seen them do this in the past, and then they rebuild, but it's not going to be good for them this year. Who all has Atlanta played?
So Atlanta led off the season with Pleasant Grove, and then they played Hooks, New Boston, and White Oak. I don't think I'm missing one, am I? Mount Vernon. They're a typical Atlanta team in the sense of that they're extremely fast and athletic, but playing really, really well right now. And Coach Morton, is the head coach, and then his brother's offensive coordinator, Coach Whaley is the defensive coordinator. All those guys are doing a really good job with those kids. They're playing really hard and really sound football. Offensively, they have a freshman quarterback who came in that second half of the PG game, and since then has been the starter and has really grown up a lot and doing a really good job getting the ball to the playmakers. And but then their running game is kind of where they make their living. Yeah, and so they got plenty of good running backs and guys that can tote the pill. But then of course, senior Jaden Riley, he's electric. He scored on us last year. And is just a really good playmaker, really good kid too. And then CJ Whaley, the sophomore tight end, defensive end, who everyone in the country is after, and for good reason. Both of those guys are guys that we're going to have a plan for. And then on the defensive side, they do a really good job of getting after offenses and limiting explosive plays, and especially in the secondary, they're really talented. And so it's going to be a tough challenge for us to create opportunities for ourselves, and it's really going to be on our defense to set our offense up in advantageous positions. And but we're looking forward to it, and looking forward to the challenge. And I think our kids are excited. These are two schools that are close in proximity and have grown up competing against each other, so it's going to be a good game.
We've always hated them Wabbits.
Yeah.
In the game with Pleasant Grove, what was the score there? How did they play with them?
I think Pleasant Grove gave up a safety. Other than that, I want to say it was Pleasant Grove got after them pretty good, but I think anybody, they're getting after everybody right now. But other than that, if you look at their box scores, they're really doing a really good job of holding people down and not letting people score a whole lot of points, and being pretty efficient themselves, with their offense. And so they're really well rounded.
They, like us, have always had a lot of speed. Mm-hmm. And are their tailbacks pretty quick? Yeah, they are, and they're big and are physical and run really well. And that's, like I said, that's a big part of what they're going to do. From an offensive perspective, is run the ball. And so, fortunately, our defense is pretty good in stopping the run. So it's going to be strength on strength Friday. As far as that goes, and so it's going to be on our guys to make some plays. Coach, what is their defense like? What are they running? Yeah, so they're a 4-down front, and again, just do a lot to put pressure on offenses and limit explosive plays, and they fly around. But yeah, they do a really good job on defense, and so it's going to be a big time challenge. We're gonna have to be ready to play on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, do they have some big guys up front? Yeah, I mean, Whaley. Are they as big as? No, probably not quite as big as Gladewater. Whaley's going to play some defensive end.
as well, and they're really long and rangy on the perimeter, and so yeah, they like I said, they got some great athletes out there.
Pigskin Preps still has the Bulldogs in the number 10. They've got us down to number 7 spot, and nobody else is up there in our district or our area here. So we're still getting some respect.
Yeah.
I think they can.
I think the thing we all have to remember too is, the number 1 team in the state last week, according to Dave Campbell's, and the number 1 team in our region was Winsboro, and they lost a
They
district
got slapped
game,
pretty hard.
yeah, by Commerce, and that's a, we've always said Commerce is a really dangerous team because of their personnel and the kids they have. And then you look around, I mean, it's still pretty wide open. And so I think that's obviously good news for us, because I think there's a lot of teams that are still trying to figure out themselves and find their identity and find out what kind of team they're going to be. And so our message all week is everything that we wanted to do at the beginning of the season still in front of us, but we do have to take care of business. Like we have to go right now. There needs to be a sense of urgency, and we have to flip a switch, and I feel like we're doing that this week.
Coach Kingston's okay?
Yeah, Kingston's good. He practiced this morning, and it was just one of those things. I think his knee buckled a little bit, but yeah, no, he's good.
Anybody else have any injuries?
No, Dale's back. Jacoby's back. Both those guys played significant minutes last week, and so those guys, I mean, we're about as healthy as you could be for this point in the season. We still got a couple weeks away from our bye week, but that'll be good, coming up. And but no, we're pretty healthy at this point.
I think our guys are, other than James, anybody else out as far as injuries?
Nope.
Everybody's back and healthy.
Yeah, we're
That's
good.
good.
Yes, sir.
That's good. Coach, we're going to have any changes on the offensive or defensive line?
There, people who've been watching Jefferson this season may see some guys playing different positions in those spots. That
talk about who they are next
that
week.
could be a possibility. Yeah. So, like I said, we've made some changes to try to put our kids in the best position to be successful. So that may be something that if people are paying attention, they might see, on Friday night.
Coach, let's. I haven't been able to keep up with them like you have. Let's talk about all the guys that got scholarships last year that are playing and how they're doing.
Yeah, we had several come back last week. Cam obviously was able to come home. They were on a bye week, and he's redshirting this year. Which
is a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing. He's playing behind a really talented running back there at UNLV. But and they're 4-0, enrolling really good and about to start conference play. Kyrie Johnson is playing. He's playing at Centenary, and he's playing. He's I think of their 4 games, I think he's played in 3 of them. Maybe they've only had 3 at this point.
And Coach, the thing is, these guys that are playing, these other colleges, they're playing on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Go by. I mean, Centenary is not that. It's 45-minute drive. Go by and let him know that you're there.
Yeah. Kyrie's had a good crowd of people play. Come and watch him his last 2 home games. And Zach Holscher's over playing at McMurray. I know he made the travel squad and has been doing well. And Devontae Marshall is at Missouri Southern, and haven't talked to him in a couple weeks, but seems to be doing really well. Cornell, and I just blanked on his name. Hold on. None. Yeah. Cornell Nuns over at.
Now you're like me.
I know.
But I've got 69 years to back mine up.
I know it. Cornell is Nuns over at Kilgore Junior College, and
now we also have another young man there at Kilgore. Is running back.
Yeah.
Blaze's brother. My goodness, I can't.
Yeah.
Now my mind's gone blank. He's a
Luke
McMullen.
Yeah, Luke McMullen, and then also Biscuit's brother. Man, we're blank. We're horrible on names today. But Bowman. CJ.
CJ.
CJ Bowman's over there. So anyway,
he's safe now, I think, isn't he? Maybe D-line,
defensive end or outside backer or whatever he is. He's huge.
He's a beast. He is a beast. He was a beast in school.
Yeah. So really proud of those guys. They're doing really well. And then we get to see some other guys too that are at school and doing well for themselves. So it's always great to see those guys.
You bet. But really, on Saturdays, most of them are within driving range. I know.
Yeah.
You got one out in Abilene and one up in.
Yeah, we can all. Yeah, you want to encourage everybody to make a trip out to Las Vegas and go take a UNLV game.
I tell you what, I told him next year, you just need to let me know.
Yeah, I don't know if could we take a fan bus out to Las Vegas. You think they would go for that? If we took on a yellow dog out to Las Vegas.
Have to.
Yeah.
It might take us 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, we'd leave on Monday. Yeah, maybe that's a good bye week.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll take an all-week trip. I'm sure we would have zero problem filling up those bus seats. That might be a good fundraiser.
He now has, kinesiology is, one of the things that Cambo's working on, and I might have created a monster because he was up in the box with us, Friday night, and he spent the whole second half with us, and Bobby and I just kind of let him talk. He knew more about what he was doing than we did. He knew more about the kids, and we had great fun with him. He had a blast up there.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, and that's part of what makes him so special, just the quality of a kid he is, for sure.
Friday night was gold night. It was, in honor of Avery. And there was a pretty good crowd there. I did not, by the time we got out of the booth, they were packed up and gone. I really wanted to see him. I went up about 5:30 and they weren't there yet. And so once we got started, I couldn't go down. But quite a few people was looking at a lot of black and gold shirts being worn by
that was awesome. Yeah, it was. And thanks to our community who made all that possible. And I won't mention names because I know I'll leave somebody out, but just everyone who had a part in that and had a hand in that. And I know what the tailgate and everything beforehand and pregame, and it was a great experience to be able to see him and see him doing so well. So we were really excited for him and his family.
That's one of the things a small town can do that a big town won't do.
Yeah.
He wrote a real nice write-up. Avery did, and sent it up to us, and then Greg had it over the PA. I think he had a quote from Ephesians that was in there. And, good Christian kid, great young man, and he's going to beat this. But there's too many of us behind it.
Yeah, for sure. We're just really, really proud of him and proud of Avery, and actually just hung a banner in the locker room today that's got his picture on it, for the guys, and so. He's on our minds all the time, and we're really proud of him.
He got a haircut.
Yeah.
Got his dress cut.
Yeah.
And looks kind of like his dad now.
Yeah, he does. He sure does.
Standing together. Because he told me, I work with my dad a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good deal. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
I think we're good. I just want everybody to come out to. I know that this may not be a popular opinion in Jefferson, but I love Atlanta Stadium. I think it's a great East Texas venue for a high school football game, down there in the pine trees. And so we need everybody to come, pack out the stands, that visitor side, because it's going to be full on the home side, and come cheer on the Dogs as we get back on track Friday night.
I grew up watching my brother play in a stadium like that for 4 years. The Niceville Eagles, we call them the Fish Heads. They were our biggest rival, and their stadium is almost identical to. And one's in Florida, one's in Texas. And I doubt they had any. That one's been there for 40 years, I know. In Niceville, but I've always kind of like you, liked the stadium just because it reminded me of that one at home.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we'll see you next week, everybody. Come out and watch the game. I know you can sit at home and watch it. For us older folks, that's good. But we need seats. Butts in seats. The home crowd to be there.
That's right. For sure.
All right. We'll see you. Looking forward to it next week.